I have been user of Adobe Lightroom for many years, it's not a secret, but Lightroom is not for everyone. Lightroom pricing is not for everyone. And when Luminar Neo came on my radar and I have tried it, I was actually very surprised how good this software is, how capable this software is, how much you can do easier than anything I have known before. It's actually more accessible to more users than Adobe products are, not because of the price, obviously, that's the first thing, but also how easy this is to use in comparison. This video is not a tutorial how to edit exactly Luminar Neo, but in this video I'm going to show you what it does and how it does it. I'm going to edit a couple of photos in here, but also show you some extra features this software has got, the features which make it a bit extra special. So let's not waste any time, let's jump right in. I have imported already some photos into Luminar Neo. I'm going to pick a couple first. Firstly, let's go with this one. This is a RAW file shot with a Sony camera. Editing of the RAW files in Luminar Neo is tiny little bit different than editing JPEGs. With RAW file, you kind of apply the global generic settings like exposure, the contrast first, and then you add your creative artistic look on top of it. So let's go into it. First, you go to Edit tab. In here, it shows Develop RAW because we are editing RAW file. In here, I do have all the tools to adjust the look of the photo, but what's quite important is the camera profile. Seemingly not important because you can work with it as is, you don't have to change anything. You can use the generic Luminar profile or Adobe or RGB, whatever you want. But every camera, while shooting RAW files, records camera own color profiles into the RAW file, which you can apply in Edit after. This is specifically important if you shoot with Fuji camera and you want those Fuji film looks, but after, not while you're shooting. This is where you would get them from here. So I go to camera profile, and this is a Sony camera. By default, it's a Luminar default, but then you can choose to any of the camera presets. Sony hasn't got that many to choose from, but these apply the look the camera has been designed to work with, and this kind of gives you the overall first better look straight out of the box. So here I'm going to apply one of these two, probably first one, yeah, this one, and that instantly makes my picture look better. So this is a before and this is after. Yeah, much more contrast, much more color. I haven't touched anything else really. Now I can start tweaking. I can tweak the highlights. I can put a bit of extra shadows in here. Maybe change the exposure a tiny bit. You do have curves. I don't personally use curves a lot in my workflow unless the photo really requires, the photo is not exposed properly and it needs a lot of tweaking. This one is pretty good as is, straight from the camera, so I'm not even gonna go touch the curves, but they're there if you need to. You have also color sharpness, noise reduction. This is the first primarily adjustment. What's nice about Luminar Neo is that everything is really well laid out and obvious. It's very intuitive to find the tools you want, and every tool also has got a little eye icon which gives you information what it does and what it is. So now I want to apply a little bit more extra specialist tools. I can't do masking with the Develop RAW tab. So to do some masking on this image, I'm going to go to Layers and duplicate this layer. So I've actually got this image already edited and I have duplicated now, so I'm adding extra effects to this top layer. This is non-destructive editing in this, so you can reverse everything you do from the moment you open the photo to the moment you're ready to export. If you change your mind to anything, you can actually go back and change. So here I'm gonna actually reduce the color just a slightly less, because once I touch any of those tools, it gives me Develop tab without the RAW label next to it, and now this Develop tab has got masking right next to it. So I'm gonna get linear gradient here and apply it at the front of the photo here in front of the girl, and now I can go back to adjustments and I can darken the front of the photo here. I can add another mask here as well. I'm gonna add I've got another linear from the back here and just apply it here like this. So there's a darkening from the corners of the photo, drawing your eye to the girl. I'm going to go duplicate the layer again. I'm going to go to Develop tab and masking. I'm going to select the brush, and here I'm actually going to go and brush there where the hair is really dark, just a tiny bit here, and then I'm going to add a bit of light in there, just a tiny bit, little touch here, just to brighten the hair a little bit. And this is pretty much it. With these creative tools here, there's one in particular which is new to Luminar Neo, which I do like a lot. It's a light depth. This is AI driven and it's very, very clever. When you select this, it analyzes the photo and creates this map, the depth map. And here, when I add the light onto the photo, here you go, you can actually move where the light is, the front or the back. And you can actually see on this map here, the black and white kind of shadow image, you can see where your light is. But this is very clever, especially if you got a too dark background or too dark foreground, you can actually adjust where the light is and change the look of it to get a better overall look quicker. So here I'm gonna move the light right behind her and make it as well a bit warmer to add to those autumn colors or fall colors in this photo. And this is it. Okay, let's pick another one from the list here. I'm gonna go for, let's have a look. I'm gonna go for this one. Okay. Firstly, go to Edit tab. Here we go. This is pretty nice. I'm gonna crop it a little bit, tiny bit straining and tiny bit of cropping, and the same as before. I'm gonna firstly do an overall adjustments. Firstly, by changing the camera profile. This was shot with a Sony again. So this got these vivids, not neutral, black and white. I don't even know what a PTFL flat, I presume FL is for, SH is for, but that's what came from the camera. I'm gonna pick one of these vivid ones. I quite like this one, okay? Again, I'm gonna reduce the contrast slightly on this photo, reduce the highlights, add a bit of a brightness in the shadows, and that's my overall first adjustment done. Duplicate the layer. And now again, as you can see, develop has still got a row, a badge next to it, so I can't do any masking. I'm just gonna tweak the saturation here, and that instantly gives me masking here. I'm gonna do something similar. I'm gonna pick the linear gradient here and adjust the brightness at the front. Here you go, just like this a little bit. Here we go. I'm gonna use again light depth to brighten the background just a tiny bit. So I'm gonna add extra light here, and then I'm gonna move the light behind just like that. That's very nice. Nice. And then I'm gonna duplicate the layer again. And on the new layer, I'm gonna add, let me just close this. I'm gonna add develop, mask, and I'm gonna add radial gradient. I'm gonna add it onto this gentleman's face, just like this. No, the one rotation. Okay, and then on this, I'm gonna just slightly brighten his face, tiny bit. Although I could have done this with smart tools, I forgot about. There's actually an adjustment called face. Surprise, surprise. And here you can brighten the face on its own, depending from the photo. Very nice. You can also change the shape of the face. You can slim someone's face if they really need that. Not something I would recommend doing without asking permission first. Don't adjust people's faces to make them look different than they really are. And here's something unusual which I like a lot is the mood tool in creative adjustment. Here you can add LUTs. LUTs are usually for color grading the video. And if you edit a video like me and you have your own, or you have actually bought some, you can actually apply them to the photos here. You got a lot preset ones here. So if something takes your fancy, you can actually add it from here. There's a lot to choose from. Plenty of different ones to give the image that more cinematic look. Or you can add your own, which I have done before. I have added one here. It's in the customs and it's Path Z cinematic. When I add it to it, I have to add a little bit more here. You can actually adjust the contrast and the saturation, and that's pretty nice. Here we go, and I can actually now, because I've added LUT, I can tweak slightly some other settings in here if I need to. And this is it. Another tool I need to talk about is the restoration tool. This is something very good and very practical. If you got any old photos, especially destroyed old photos, this can do magic really in here. This is a very old photo of me as a baby, Turns out I went through all the old photos from my family, and turns out that my family looked after the photos very well, and I couldn't find anything damaged. Only this one, a picture of me as a baby. You have to click on the restoration tab here. This is like under the catalog tab, and drag this photo into here. And you got a few options here as well. You can do a full restoration, so removes all the creases, scratches, cracks, and makes the photo perfect and adds color to it. You can only add color to it if the photo doesn't need fixing, or you can remove the scratches or creases on the photo without adding the color. Here it is, in color, fully restored, and I look brand new here. Let's try one more. I've got one here actually of my mother when she was very young, looking like a 70s model here. So I'm gonna drag that into this restoration tool and restore it. This photo has got actually scratches from the camera. There's a bit of ghosting going on. I don't think it's going to be fixed, but it's obviously black and white photo as well. So let's give it a go. Wow, this is very impressive. He has removed all the imperfections there. As I predicted, that little glow is still there, but the photo is in color. It's actually sharper than original. You can actually take this photo now and do any editing you want to it in here as well. So you can add contrast, change the exposure. It's nice. I'm going to adjust the saturation just a touch on this. Very nice. Very useful tool. Another thing I need to talk about is the Luminar Ecosystem. This is something very important. I haven't been editing photos on my phone. Usually when I post on Instagram into stories, I usually edit them on Instagram, but sometimes I wish I could, and I just couldn't find the right software for it before this. And this is not only great for editing photos on your phone, but also it's all synchronized with your desktop, laptop, computer, and the big application, desktop application. Here in Luminar Mobile App, you can import any photo from your phone, obviously, and you can adjust it. This is you got some nice tools in here. You got this AI tool, which allows you to simply just crank it up, and the software does, the app does its own magic. But you got all the other tools as well. You got a brightness here. You got obviously highlights. You can change whites, blacks, saturation, shadows. All that stuff is in here. Contrast, color, temperature. Yeah, it's all here. But also you do have some nicer tools like this, the light tool, similar to what you got on desktop here. You can actually adjust the lights and the depth of light in the foreground and the background. With the wheel, you can change direction the light is lighting the front and the background, and you can actually change the intensity of the light as well. You got your curves, of course, everything is in here. There's more to it as well, because here you can actually add the presets. There's a lot of presets to choose from, like a film presets. Here you got the skies. You can replace the sky on a desktop, of course, you can do it as well. But here you can actually choose the sky suitable to your photo. I'm gonna go for this one, and the app will do its magic. So in this I can actually change as well the brightness, lightness or whatever of the sky here. I can defocus it so it's not as sharp. You want some distance. And talking about the presets, you do have as well here the films. This is actually, they're not real films, but they're actually nice presets you can apply to your photo. So whatever takes your fancy, you can change how much intensity. I quite like this. So you can actually preview before and after what you've done here. Also show you what I have done before this. This is a original photo, just taken in the city at night, and I've tweaked that on the application here. What's special about the Luminar Neo ecosystem is that as soon as you finish editing any photo on here, it's uploaded into cloud and onto your desktop. So when you come on a computer and you go to Luminar Mobile, all the pictures from your phone actually are in here edited. I have been editing photos for over nearly 25 years, and I find myself at home in this instantly. Intuitive, easy to use, easy to create, very good images. So yeah, this is it from me. Check it out if you're interested in the photo editing and you're looking for a software that can do pretty much all this. Check it out. There's a link, affiliate link underneath this video. And this is it from me. Thank you for watching. Thank you Luminar Neo for sponsoring this video, and you know what to do: like, comment, subscribe, the usual stuff you do on YouTube, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.